Death is not a scary scare. As many of us think the scarecrow of death should not be used as a means of terrorizing human beings, because God, whom I saw with my own eyes and felt it in my heart, is what you all think. One day away I had come out of a birthday party. It was very noisy, this party. I turned the engine of my new sports car, and it was a Datsun Sport. I drove this car wearing jeans and a white t-shirt heading to a Cairo hotel, where I've always been in motels. They call it 5 stars. I was a woman, and I'm still very rich. I'm going to get 10 and so on. By the way, I didn't choose to be rich, as he said, and your livelihood in heaven and what you promise. I've been hit in all sorts of exchanges that you can imagine, except for blood, arms, drugs, or the like. To get back to it, I was driving crazy like I was going to commit suicide. I didn't know what happened, except that I saw myself covered in blood, and I was flying over my car. Now I remember the moments of death. I saw my soul very light and very transparent. I'm flying, I'm out of gravity. The sky was magnificent above the description of the imagination, so I started looking at my blood-covered body. A voice told me what's harder to live with body restraints. I looked from my top to my body and wished that my soul would not return to this body. I felt absolute freedom and absolute love for all human beings. I'm not going to lie and tell you that my soul has entered a tunnel or something. No, my soul was very happy, and I also knew it's no religions in the sky of God and His kingdom. And fighting against the pride of Jalalala is a great sin. Gentlemen, there is a presence other than ours, but we can't recognize this existence because of our lack of knowledge. In some cases, our ego prevents us from admitting the truth. Life without God, great sin. Taking the sound up, and I felt pity for myself and all the living. I didn't want to go back to my body, but she came back against my will. Can you stop using death as a scarecrow and portray the same God Almighty about your shortcomings as an earthly chef grilling cannibalism? It is forbidden for you to do what you have done to us. All of you are all your religion is void, and your gods cannot stand us. I have read all the books of religion, history, and philosophy, because I worked as a journalist in Australia. I educated myself with all kinds of cultures. I've lived with all the communities you imagine. I am in love with first-rate travel. I read your Torah, your Gospels, and your Quran. I studied Buddhism and Hinduism, and I know Aborigine, and you know they are native Australians. I still remember the moments of extreme happiness when my soul came out to its own. God has never greeted me with the whips of torment. I wanted to stay by the kingdom of God. I didn't feel like a Muslim soul, a Jehovah's Day, a Christian, or even a cow slave spirit. I felt that my soul had been liberated from all forms, religious thought, and political as well, and it is with love alone that lives man. What I'm saying is not prose or poetry. I was dead for hours, and when I woke up I was a sander on a dirty bed, and a poor ruined man I'd never seen before until that distant day. And my face is disfigured, and one of my vertebrae have slipped out of place, and then the doctor and 2 nurses came. They were looking at me with amazement, and they told me, "Madam, you're dead and you're living again." The name of this hospital, Al-Qasr Al-Aini Hospital in Cairo, but it was a hospital where they put the poor to die quietly. After this day I'm no longer what I was ever. My humanity has increased a lot. She became a servant of man. Sometimes I pray, but the texts of the Quran lost from my mind. The texts of the Gospel I do not master. Then I knew that reaching out to God did not need religious texts, and you still slaughtered each other on it. Stop threatening me with death. This is not permissible, and you do not have the right to impose your vision on us minus God's work on us. I don't want to die, because I'm the daughter of life. I feel like God's spoiled child. Let every soul she goes to her isthmus, which is lost, my brother of Allah.